And hello, everyone. Welcome to Heart Centered Tarot. As always, my name is Marina, and I will be your guide for this portion of the journey. And help me welcome Cleo from Cleo the Seer.
Hi.
Hey, Cleo. So, this is kitchen table issues. And normally there's someone else here with us, but she's absent today. And that's okay, because yours truly forgot to schedule this collaboration and forgot to send out the link. So
That happens.
it happens. So Colleen made other plans, and who can blame her? It's just
she's constantly doing shows. She's constantly working on this stuff, and yeah, no, it doesn't surprise me that things came up.
Yeah.
It's but I think we can survive without her. And
you know what, we're gonna do our best. We're gonna do it.
We'll try to do our best.
Totally. And just going to say hello, book. Nice to see you. Nice to see you here. I'm going to say hello to Laura Hammond Davis, Kathleen Bourgeois, Linda H, Barbara Nesper. So yeah, thank you, Teresa Levine. Hello. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, we'll discuss some things that are happening in the news, some things that are happening at home, around the world, wherever. And let's just see what we can come up with in terms of solving the world's problems.
Well, it's been an interesting week. It's been a very interesting week as far as trials go.
I know
what is coming up in these trials with Trump. It's just hilarious. I cannot. I mean, Stormy Daniels is just ruining him.
Absolutely.
And of course, Fox News is right there trying to act like Stormy Daniels is the goofy one. Oh, no.
She is doing a very, very good job of pointing out just what kind of a sleazebag Trump is.
Yeah.
And entertainment purposes only. I have it at the bottom of the scrolling there. Yeah, she's just showing all the ways in which he feels entitled in 1,000 different ways, right? And yeah, I was reading today with I think one of his bookkeepers at Trump.org, and how they did the checks and who signed the checks, and yeah, they I think it was the manager of the bookkeeping department or something along those lines anyway. Yeah, who was saying how anything over $10,000, any check over $10,000 had to be approved by Mr. Trump or one of the boys or one of the kids. That's what it was, one of the kids. So he can't say, well, I had no idea, right?
No.
Yeah, she said, yeah, she would bundle up the checks and the invoices or whatever went with it and send it off to him, and he would sign it. And if there was a particular one that he did not want to sign, he would write void across it and just bring it, send it back to her. So you can't pretend you didn't know, because you kind of did.
No, he totally knew. And all these people that are testifying are just screwing him, and they don't mean to be. That person you're talking about right now that handled the checks like that, she really adored Donald Trump and enjoyed working for him and stuff. But apparently, I love that. It was stormy weather.
Thanks, Linda. Yeah. Absolutely.
And she made the mistake of saying, I think she said something to the effect that she knew Donald better than his own kids or something. And she got fired for that. So, so she hasn't worked for him for a while, but she really thinks he's wonderful. And here she is just saying, oh yeah, he knew He knew everything he was signing. He
Yeah,
knew where every penny was going. And yeah,
exactly.
man, this was absolutely, yeah, he signed those. And
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
plus, this is a little, one thing they did that I got such a kick out of because they all screwed themselves. The Cohn and oh God, somebody else working with him. They actually put down on paper. One was Michael Cohen's bank statement. The other was something on Trump's letterhead that said exactly how they were going to pay back Cohen and
yes,
what the money was for. It's there in black and white and handwritten. It's not typed up or anything. It's handwritten, so
yeah,
they know who wrote that. And I mean,
yeah,
like talk about the cat out of the bag. There's
yeah,
just no way
exactly.
around that
I had
particular.
I had no idea. I no, is this your handwriting? Well, I don't know. It could be my handwriting. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I did hear, a good number of people were talking about how really the relationship with Stormy Daniels really didn't have a whole lot to do with this um, with the money end of things. In a
No.
lot of ways, it didn't, but at the same time, it just proved his character more. That I'm willing to do anything I can to come out ahead. I'm willing to um, yeah, kind of bend the rules so that they suit me. She did a great job. I think she did a great
Oh,
job.
she did a wonderful, wonderful job.
Yes.
Praise Stormy Daniels because
Yeah.
she did a great job. I love it that she said stuff like that they had a very, very, what did she say? I think she said quick connection or a quick affair or quick something. And to me, it just sounded like it was kind of like wham bam, thank you, ma'am.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
also, she said that she came in there and he's got on his silk pajamas. And she was like, oh, hell no. Go change your clothes. And he did. And he
Yeah.
did. And so she just bringing up all the dirt. And then the
Totally.
folks on Fox News, they're like, oh, well, she shouldn't have said this and that. I'm thinking, oh, but she did. She did say
She did.
this.
She did. Yeah. Yeah. And his people were, well, she gave out too much information, and we want a mistrial because, she said things that she shouldn't have said and whatnot. And, you know, I um I agree with Marshawn, who said you should have objected more. Like that's your job, is when she starts going off the rails or not within the confines of what we're going to discuss. It's your job to say objection,
And
not within the scope of the evidence, and pull it back. You don't just let her talk and then say, we want a mistrial, she said too much.
yeah, no, they didn't object to anything. I couldn't believe it. They did not object to anything. And,
Well, talk about hiring only the best.
yeah.
Right. Only the best.
I'm thinking, what were you guys thinking about? And I'm sure they just weren't thinking. And I'm
I
thinking
know.
they might have thought, well, if she's going to go off on this, that's fine because it really doesn't have anything to do with the money, the accounting, where the money went, the
Yeah.
payment by Cone, any of that kind of stuff. But what the entire world found out was just what kind of a creep Donald Trump
Yeah.
is. That he indeed did have some kind of a fling with Stormy
Yeah.
Daniels, and that he was lying the whole time, and he did everything he could to backpedal because he didn't want us to know this right before the election because he thought he would
Yes.
lose. And sure enough,
Yes.
I agree with him. I think he would have
Absolutely.
lost. I think he would have
Yeah.
lost. Instead, what he did is he did this, Hillary Clinton, lock her up. Hillary Clinton, she look at where's all her email, 30,000 emails. Hillary Clinton was not out having an affair with with
No.
anybody.
No. And the other thing to remember too is that One of his defenses so far, one of the things that he has said was that, part of the reason for trying to kill the story was he didn't want his wife to find out. He was scared his wife was going to find out. Well, according to Stormy, and I think it was somebody else, and I think it was also Karen McDougal, who has yet to testify, I think, who said no. He made it very clear that we don't even sleep in in the same room.
That's right. They sleep in
So, yeah, you sleep in separate bedrooms. You don't have anything to do with each other, but you're afraid she's going to find out you're having an affair. Well, you think she's stupid. She knows.
Well, and that's the whole thing. And I think there was some brief conversation with Melania or whatever her name is, that she was saying that she knew who she married and she knew what she was up against. And it's not that they had an open marriage, but she wasn't that worked up about it. I'm thinking, oh, well, no, of course she is, because this just keeps getting more and more spread out.
Yes.
Anybody in her position at some point would be very, very angry about this whole situation.
Yes.
So, I thought that was clever that they threw that out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Try to defer the whole thing. But no, this thing about getting it in writing and this thing about her telling the whole story about him and how it went down and what a creep he was. And that she also said in court that she hated the guy. She hates him.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And she doesn't care that it has nothing to do with the money. No. She doesn't care that it has nothing. She wants to get her story out. And she is actually a very smart, intelligent woman. And she's done a lot of other things besides be a porn star. I mean, they try to make her look like she's been a slut or something. Well, maybe she has.
You know what?
I don't care.
So what? Maybe she can be the queen of the trailer park sleep arounds. It doesn't make any difference when it comes to the evidence. It doesn't affect the evidence.
Right.
Well, yes, I agree with you, Bernie. Yeah, Stormy is a strong woman. Absolutely. Yes, she is. And
energy. Yes.
Yeah. And Book had said, I want us to stand together in support of Stormy. Yes, absolutely. Do that, because she's she's got some protection while she's in New York, while she's testifying, but it's going to be a little after that when she's kind of on her own, that you're just not sure who's going to come around. Yeah.
Right. And I agree. We should send her light. We should send her positive energy. But this woman can take care of herself. She's got all the positive energy she needs. Break in 130,000. So that's a pretty good. Good
date. Not bad. Not bad. Yeah. And Louise Food said that Karen will not be testifying. Wow.
Well, I think, and she got paid even more. I think she got paid 150,000.
Yes. Yeah.
And she probably doesn't really need to testify. I mean, like I said, it is about where, the money and where the money went and who knew what, and it is coming out. I mean, he definitely knew. He signed the checks. He saw the notes written out in hand by hand about where this, $35,000 a month to CRONE to pay him back. And I think that he thought this is going to work out great, because we'll just act like $35,000 a month was my payment to him for legal services, not a payback for not a hush money payback.
Yeah. It was, you can't put everything down to legal services. If and I can't remember who it was, whether it was my son or somebody else, who had mentioned, okay, so Michael Cohen comes over to your house and he mows the lawn. Is that a legal service?
Right.
You know? So come on now. You can't just put everything under that blanket.
And I totally
Um,
agree with Linda H. She says the lady lawyer didn't know who she was messing with.
no.
Absolutely. And I just love it. I
Yeah.
just love it.
Yeah. Yeah. When Stormy said a few times, no, I have not changed my story. You're trying to put words into my mouth. This is what I said. And especially pointing out that, yeah, there was one part of a text exchange that the defense left out the last sentence, or the last comment, which was something about yeah, has she something about her story changing, and that the last comment from the other person was, no, she hasn't. And
Right.
they left that part out. Well, it was brought up today, so that's okay.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all good. It's all good. Hey, Sherry, nice to see you here. Thanks for coming in. We've got Lorraine is here, artist Liz, Hilda Flores, Jana is here, Mickey Taylor. I know. Oh, Michelle, Astrological Tarot. Hello, nice to see you.
So,
Thank, yeah, Bern O'Malley. Thank you all for being here. This was, yeah, this is a lot of fun. So, I have to admit, I I watched a video earlier today, and it really raised something in me. And it was a video that, I don't know if you're familiar with Ellie from Australia, Ellie Dreams Down Under.
not really, no.
Okay. She is a tarot reader, and a damn fine good one at that. Very informative. I always learn an awful lot from her when I'm watching her read tarot, because she knows every card inside out, backwards, forwards, upside down,
Wow.
whatever. Um, and she always does an explanation of the cards, and what the meaning is, and then kind of puts it all together. Well, she got a question from one of her subscribers, and it was an excellent question. And I thought, okay, let's bring it up and let's talk about it here. And the question that was posed to her was, and it was by a subscriber who is a psychologist, and was speaking and asking the question from the point of view of a psychologist, saying, with all of the Trump issues when it comes to memory and this, that, and the other, if he is to break the gag order once again, the judge could fine him. The judge could also lock him up. But what if the judge did neither of them? And what if the judge ordered psychological testing? And I thought,
Yeah, that would be great.
Wouldn't that be something?
We could do that.
Yes, absolutely.
The judge has been very clear that he absolutely does not want to put him in jail, because he knows that first of all, it's just going to make the trial drag out longer.
Yes.
And he also knows that that's what Trump wants. Now everybody's saying, no, Trump doesn't want to do that. Well, I think he does. I think he wants the, it just adds to his campaign. It adds to his whole thing of that witch hunt, and I'm being victimized, and this is election interference and campaign, whatever. Yeah. So, but yeah, if they had him do that, wow.
Wouldn't that be interesting? Because it would be in some ways a double-edged sword, because if he is found to be mentally incompetent, then all the trials would stop, because he's not mentally competent to stand trial. However, if he's not mentally competent to stand trial, then he's not mentally competent to be on the ticket, not to
Yeah,
run for president.
that would definitely be a situation where if he was declared incompetent, I just don't think that any psychologist or psychiatrist is going to do that, because you've got to fit in a number of criteria in order to be deemed incompetent, and Trump
Oh,
knows how to play that game. And he would be able to either fool the guy or just come up with the right answers and have these things work out for him. But I love it that there is an alternative. I never thought about that thing. I don't think I know, but I think in the long run, I mean, the judge has already added another $1,000 to the nine, so now we're up to 10,000 in fines over the gag order, and there was actually four or five different things that the prosecution was saying that Trump went against on the gag order. But the judge looked at it and said, no, I only see one. And so that's what makes it the $10,000.
Yes.
I just think, and somebody had already mentioned this, that when Michael Cohen gets on the stand, I don't think that's happened yet, has it?
No.
Okay, when that happens, they're saying that he's not going to be able to keep his cool, that he's going to blow up, or that he's going to, he's going to do something.
Yes.
Now, if he gets weird enough during that testimony, or because of that testimony, either before, after, or during the trial, that could make it to where the judge goes, you know what? No, we need some professionals to come in and make sure that he's dealing with a full deck.
Yeah.
But God, I would just love that. But I think they are trying to do what they can, with a little respect that this is a former president, that he is running for president, that indeed that he does have a chance of being the next president. So again, the judge might do something like that, because just to protect the public.
Absolutely. I think it would be glorious.
It would be.
To have him undergo a psych evaluation.
Yeah.
And it would give us some idea into his mental faculties and how they work and whatnot, and whether or not he really is dealing with a full deck or not. Who was it now here? Book said, there are 500 therapists who signed a letter about his being incompetent.
Oh, really?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yes, there was one, and I think she is either a psychologist or a psychiatrist, I'm not sure, but she was the one who kind of raised the flag in the very beginning, saying this man is not altogether there. There's he's exhibiting some of the signs of mental decline and so on and so forth. And I think it was with her that others joined in, but it would be really interesting to see.
Well, and just the fact that he keeps holding on to that the 2020 election was stolen, that Biden's not really the president, those kind of things do make you wonder, is his mental faculties a little bit declining a lot? Well, I'd say declining a lot, but
declining a lot. Yeah. It's the only thing he knows is he is just repeating the same thing over and over and over again. And you notice when he when he's reading from the teleprompter, he's able to kind of keep it together. But when you get him just kind of on the fly and you ask a question, he loses the ability to speak, and he doesn't make any sense, and he puts 3, 4, 5 different thoughts together and tries to meld them into one, and that's when you can really see that,
Well, now
the
the other
faculties.
thing is that during this week, he's had a couple of wins. He's had a couple of things come up about the document
Yes.
case and about Fonnie Willis and Jack Smith. I mean, that they're seeing that all these other cases that we were just all really wanting to find out what was going to happen before the election is probably not going to happen. Now, I said probably way over a year ago, well, as soon as we knew about the document case in Florida, that case was going to be dismissed. And I said, if it didn't get dismissed, the least of it is that they will never see it, that it'll never see a jury.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know how that was going to come about. Actually, I had in my mind something different than what is actually happening now.
Yeah.
But I just knew that, for one thing, that Cannon was going to do everything she could to help him, to protect him. And that's exactly what she's doing.
Yes.
And, trying to get her off the case is really tough to do. I don't know. I'll be interested to see how Jack Smith handles all this. But, then the other thing, the Supreme Court holding up
Yes.
that is, immunity. That we can't do anything until we know if he has immunity or not. Well, this is illogical. It makes no sense. It is makes the Supreme Court look like a kangaroo court, and now we're talking the biggest court of the land. You don't want that. And you want these people to be upfront and honest, and they are not being that way. They are just
they should be following the law, not following their political allegiances and trying to make them fit into the law. The Constitution is very clear on some things. And you either follow the Constitution or you don't. You can't cherry pick, what you like and what you're going to go with. You either do or you don't. I think, everybody kind of kicking the can down the road is really, I think, hoping that it'll get to a point where they don't have, where they're going to be able to say, well, we were going to rule on it, but it's just, 2 months before the election and we can't do that. And right, we'll have to wait till after and whatnot. I think that, at least I hope that a lot of them realize that this is, they're backing a lame horse. Like he's not going to make it. He's not going to win. And when Biden is reelected, I have no doubt that however big Biden's majority win would be, there's going to be those Republicans who are going to say, no, it was stolen and it was this, it was that.
No
no
matter which way it goes with these court cases, yes, there's always going to be a group that says that. And, but on the other hand, if we don't get to hear anything about this until 2025 and Trump and Biden run it out and Biden wins and Trump loses, at least they can't say he lost because of these cases coming up, because they're going to come up in 2025. He still will have to face the music
sooner or later. Sooner or later. And if it happens later, I mean, okay, if it happened before the election, there's still going to be that group of Trump supporters who are going to say, no, trumped up charges, no, he's innocent. Having the trials happen after the election, when he loses, is you're now a 2-time loser going to trial, right? You're no longer you're no longer the ex-president going to trial. You're Yes, you're a two-time loser and possibly an illegitimate president in 2016.
He
Well,
was an illegitimate president in 2016, and we know
yes,
that because of what is happening right now in court.
yes,
That he lied, that he was a fraud. He was a fraudulent running person. That he was not
yes,
honest with us. And when he got in there, he tripped. If you recall, I mean, his thing was power, power, power. He just
yes,
loved it, that he was all in power and he could do anything and say anything.
yes.
And still get away with it. And he would just say outrageous things like, I can go out on New York and
Fifth Avenue, yeah.
shoot somebody,
Okay, I wouldn't lose me.
and
Yeah,
people would still vote for me, he's saying. So I'm like, yeah, this person, we know that this is a very dangerous person to put back in the White House. How he got there in the first place was by lying. And that's
yes,
all he ever does is lie, lie, and
yeah.
lie again.
And
Yeah.
help from other countries. Let's
Yes,
just leave
and
it at that.
Russia interference and
Yes,
other countries' interference. And that is really an important one to remember because it's so easy to kind of forget because it's not right in your face, but they are manipulating. And that's exactly what they did back in 2016. And, one thing about that
yes.
is Putin and the other guy, Rocket Man, can't remember
Kim Jong-un.
that guy. They want Trump to be president because they know he's just a fool.
Exactly.
They're just a fool, they can manipulate him. Plus Putin knows that if Trump was president, that Ukraine would not be getting all this help, and
Exactly.
he could go ahead and do what he wanted to do. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but that again is way, way too dangerous. That gets into whole different areas. But yes, Russia interference and other countries interfering in our elections, and people are like, "Well, I don't see that. How does that happen?" Well, it's the misinformation, this constant
Exactly.
misinformation that we're hearing about. Like even the polls. I just heard
Yes.
a guy talking about the polls saying, "Do not pay attention to the polls. They're bogus. They mean nothing. They are designed to, get ahead and for Trump, basically."
Yeah.
And all the negativity about Biden, look at the facts. Look at what Biden has done and what he's
Yeah.
done for all of us. I mean, it's just amazing.
Exactly.
The
Exactly. Yeah.
fact that you're talking about the economy and the inflation and stuff, that this is Biden's fault. Absolutely, it is not Biden's fault.
Yeah.
It's the pandemic. Who mishandled the pandemic?
Yeah.
Trump mishandled the pandemic. We are so lucky that Biden came in when he did, because if it would have been any later, if Trump would have
Oh,
made it back in, this country would be
yeah.
destroyed. It would no longer be a democracy. It would be something entirely different. And that's people have to understand that could really happen. And so putting him back in there, I mean, I know everybody's saying he's not going to make it. I'm saying he's not going to make it. He's not going to get in there. So the fact that we don't get to hear this stuff before the election, that these court dates don't come up before the election, is not really it's not really that big of a deal because he's not going to be president. But it's just a bad mark against the Supreme Court, a bad
Yes.
mark against certain judges, like the one down in Florida. I mean, it
Yeah.
just is not right that they're doing it this way. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Looking at the flip side of that, at least the bad players have self-identified who they are. They have told us and shown us who they are.
yeah,
Up until Trump came in, you kind of knew that there was some shady people, but you couldn't really point to someone and say, yeah, you did this or you did that, because everything is kind of done, under the table, and there's rumors and suppositions and all kinds of things. What he has done and what these people have done is they've stood up and they said, yeah, I'm one of them. Yeah. Yeah. You're looking for a crooked judge. You're looking for a judge that is going to kick the can down the road. Hi, my name is Canon Eileen. EC to my friends. Uh, Same thing with the people on the Supreme Court, right? They have identified themselves as being less than the less than the people that they would like everyone to believe that they were, right?
Honest. They're less than honest. And
Yes.
they're not following the law.
Yes.
The law doesn't,
Yeah.
they need to look at what the other appellate court said about the immunity charges, and that what that court said was totally right. They put it together in such a way that it would be hard to say it wasn't right. And
Exactly.
so that's why the Supreme Court is going to end up saying, well, we're not actually going to make a decision on this. We're going to pass it back down to another court. And it just takes more time.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're all stalling, and they know why they're stalling.
Yeah.
And it's just,
And it's evident to everybody else on the face of the earth who's watching that that's exactly what they're doing. And if you're right, if you had the truth on your side, wouldn't you want to get this out? Wouldn't you want to have this in front of the people to say, no, here's what it is? But no, so they've just shown everyone who they really are. And I think in Biden's second term, I think that there's going to come a time when these people are going to be held to account, where I think that it should be the case, especially with the Supreme Court, that the 3 judges who were appointed who said, no, Roe v. Wade, well, no, that's settled law. That's whatever. You lied. You lied at that confirmation hearing. And that should be enough to get you kicked off. Because if you lie about that, what else have you lied about? What else are you going to lie about?
Yeah, the Roe versus Wade, just amazing, and that Trump actually is dumb enough to take credit for it, because what he's basically saying is, I put in the right people in this Supreme Court to do it the way I think it should be done. But he's trying to backstep a little bit, saying, well, no, I didn't say mainly, just, I did take it down to the state level. Let the states decide. No, that's not ever what he said until it came time on a campaign rally that he saw that a lot of women were like, well, wait a minute. We don't, it's not just abortion. You're taking away our rights.
Yes.
And you're going to, with that kind of a thing going on, it's going to go down to everybody else's rights. It's going to, gay rights and other
you're
rights.
next. Exactly.
It's not just one thing. And it was so, I could never figure out why did they bring this up right now. I mean, was there really a lot of people in this country that were like, damn it, I've had it. These women getting abortions, I've had it with that. Like it has anything to do with anybody else other than the person that has to deal with it. And
yes. Yeah. This was something that was on the Republican agenda for many, many, many years. And, they were doing anything and everything to try to get it in there to overturn it, because I think they see it as the first step to overturning a lot of personal freedoms and rights. Mm-hmm. Right. And this one they were able to do. And I could, how they say it's a slippery slope. Yes, it is, because you go from, taking away women's sovereignty over their own bodies to make a decision that, this affects me and my doctor, and really it affects me. There is a father involved, but he's not the one that has to He's not the one that's going to be looking after that child. Let's face it. 90% of the
He's not the
time.
one that has to carry the fetus. He's not the one that,
That's right.
it's
Yeah.
all up to the women and what they want, how they want to do things, and to force somebody. Oh, well, the lies, they're saying, well, they said that you could kill a baby at 9 months. No, nobody ever said that. That is a complete lie, complete nonsense, and anybody can see that. Of course not. That's not what abortion's about.
No. No, you could abort until, even just before delivery, you could abort. No.
Well, and they're not looking at it from the health aspect of how this, some women, they have to do an abortion. Maybe the baby died. That is a very big life-threatening thing.
Yes.
And other things that come up, and then rape and incest. And they're like, oh, well, maybe that. But then I know somebody's going to go on there and say, I was raped. And they're going to say, and I want to get an abortion. And they're going to say, prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it. Because that's how they handle women and rape. For the most part, you've got to, I don't know exactly how you're supposed to prove that. But it's just ridiculous. And they will take stuff like, okay, no more abortions. And by the way, women shouldn't be voting. Isn't that the case? I mean, women should not be voting.
Listen, they're not able to emotionally handle their own bodies. We're going to let them make decisions about war and guns and infrastructure. Like, come on, girls, take a break. Go back in the kitchen. Worry about if your floors are clean. Yeah, leave the serious thinking to the boys. Come on now. And then, yeah, exactly. Next thing you know, then they're talking about, well, gays. That this is something that it's immoral. It's awful. It's being gay is a lifestyle choice. Listen, if I hear that one more time and someone says it in front of me, I'm going to smack them. I swear to God, I am. Like, who would consciously make a choice to be
one way or
abused or to be made fun of, to go through the emotional hell that anyone who is gay, if they don't, before they realize and kind of come to accept themselves for who they are, they signed up, they think it's fun. You want to go through this mental torture, like
that and also the what are the people called that are getting surgeries to change
transgender
those people, I mean, my heart goes out to those people. I can't imagine being in a worse situation where you're trying to tell somebody, I was born the wrong sex. This is not who I really am. On the other hand, if people understand that it's what's most important in this life for everybody is to be who you are. And that, when you're talking to a person that's maybe 8, 9, 10 years old saying, Mom, Dad, I'm not really a boy, or I'm not really a girl.
Yes.
I mean, where did they get that? They get it from within. They totally are, they're trying to let you know this is who I am. And so, they need to be able to do that. And the stuff that goes on down in Florida where they just, I can't imagine what they are thinking down there to say that you can't do this surgery. First of all, I know that, I have met some people that are transgender, and you go through a litany of testing and psychological testing and medical testing to find out if you are really a candidate for this, and if if this is really what you want to do. And it's not like somebody just sits down and says, okay, I'm going to get some surgery and change things, or I'm going to take some hormones and change things. But yeah, transgender, gays, the abortion thing. I mean, it's just insane. I don't know how we went from 2024 to 1950. I just don't know how in the world this happened, except that I did see when Trump was president, when he was name calling and stuff, and I thought, we've never seen a person act like this. And so I
Nope.
really think it started that kind of an attitude. It didn't start with him. Obviously, there's always been prejudice, but it's just the way he handled things, calling people stupid and calling people losers. And this is not what you want a president to be doing. And Biden may be old, but he's very smart. He knows this system inside and out. He's
Yes.
been involved in this for over 50 years, and he is right now doing an amazing job. And
Yes.
he's trying to appease these people that are, he's just as upset about Palestinians.
Yes.
We all are. I mean, and he is talking about removing funds to help
Yep.
Israel, which I know he's going to have a battle with that. And, we don't know all the ins and outs that are being said there. But anyway, when you're looking for somebody to lead the country, you certainly don't want somebody like Donald Trump, who has
No.
just turned us upside down. Upside down. It's just insane. Weird. You think back to the Obama years or even back to Clinton. I mean,
Yes.
things were going so well. Wasn't it so much fun to have a cool president like Barack Obama? That guy was
Oh,
just cool. and
totally.
excellent speech.
Totally.
I mean, and the Republicans gave him a really bad time too. I don't know if
Oh,
it was,
remember when he wore a tan suit? Oh,
what was that all about?
the horror of it all. The man wore a tan suit. And yeah, and that he did. The nerve that he did that. Your guy just goes around grabbing women by their private parts.
Yeah,
That's okay. That's all right. But do not put on a tan suit. And yeah, that
I guess we shouldn't be so surprised that Trump wants to outlaw abortion because, yes, he has absolutely zero respect for women. And
yes.
that one little comment is definitely telling. Now, I've seen his little apologetic thing about that's not me. I'm thinking, well, who was it? Who said that?
Yeah.
What do you mean that's not? Oh, locker room talk. No, you're an asshole. You're just an asshole to say such a thing and to treat women so terribly. You even went out on your own wife when she was pregnant with the Baron. I mean,
Yes.
he is a disgusting person. So
Yep.
let's
Exactly.
all remember that when we go to the polls. Do not vote for that son of a bitch.
No, don't. Yeah.
For
And
entertainment purposes only.
yes.
And
Yeah.
just my opinion.
A lot would agree with you. And yes, Lorraine, 45 made it okay to be rude and
Yeah.
crude. Yes, he absolutely did.
And that's just
Um,
horrible.
there was still, I mean, yes, homophobia, xenophobia, the, you know, people who believe in eugenics and all that kind of stuff. They were there before Trump, and they're going to be there long after Trump. What he did was he allowed them and he gave them permission to say the quiet part out loud so that rather than this was something that maybe they might discuss in small groups of like-minded people, he allowed them and he gave them voice to say it out so that everyone could hear it, which is why I say that's they have self-identified themselves. They have said who they are, um, in terms of their beliefs and everything else. So he just he brought out the worst in people. He
Yes.
really did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And like Lorraine says, to be rude and crude. And I'm
Yes.
thinking, if you've got kids that are like elementary school age or something, and they see this stuff on the news, and they saw it for 4 years. I mean,
Yeah,
and they know better, but they're confused. It's confusing. Their parents have said, you don't act like that, but then they see a president acting like that, and they're like, wow, I guess
exactly. Yeah, he can do it. Why can't I do it? He does it. Yes,
yeah,
Kathleen, I absolutely agree with you. And yes, yeah, wouldn't piss on you if you were on fire. Exactly. Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and here you go. The next comment. Yeah, Byrne O'Malley. 2024 is so weird. Puppy shooters and brainworms. Yes, this is what we've come to. This is what we've come to. And yeah, Ron asked, and that was one of the things I thought we could, maybe yeah, about RFK's brainworms. Did you read about that?
I did, and I'm just totally confused by the whole thing. I mean, I just the headline part. I didn't go into the story of how what were they doing in his brain in the first place? How did he get a worm in there? And it's just I don't really know what happened, but
Apparently he was that there was something that showed up in an x-ray and they thought that it was a tumor. It might very well have been something that was tumorous or benign, whatever. When in his story is that they found a worm in his brain after it had eaten some of his brain. Okay, it's is this going to be the next big story at Comic-Con? The worm that ate the brain. Like, I'm sure that there's a movie out there somewhere that has that as the plot, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
probably. But
yeah,
yeah, I don't know why he would even bring that up. I know he's trying to run for president himself, and I tell you right now, I'm not voting for somebody who might be missing part of his brain or that believes there was a worm in his brain. And I know that he's had trouble with his voice, and he's got that. It's a
yes,
disorder. A lot of people have it, but that's probably when they made all these X-rays and tests on him. Um,
yeah,
wait a minute. When it has issues with cognitive problems, you can develop brainworm from undercooked pork. Brainworm, though, no, you can get worms, but I don't think it leads to the brain. It doesn't automatically go to the brain.
no.
That's the term.
All right.
Shit for brains. Shit for brains.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that is just yeah, beyond belief. And I think I think we did earlier or last week at some point. Yeah, we were talking about yeah, Kristi Noem and yeah, the killing the puppy. I think her
yeah,
days as potential VP are gone. Um, she may not even get reelected if she runs again in her own state because the state is primarily farmers and they don't do that to their animals. Right?
that was just a horrible thing. And to say when she shot the dog in the head or something,
Yeah.
and it's written in a book.
Yep.
And she
Yep.
thinks this is just fine, that she thinks this is a positive thing. She will not be reelected governor
No.
of whatever state she's from. And
No. Yeah.
I
And you know what? I honestly think that she put that in her book because she was writing that for an audience of one. And that was for Trump. This was her resume to let me be your VP. I can make the tough decisions and I can do the dirty work that needs to be done. I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. Unfortunately, she didn't just say that to him. She said it to everybody. And a lot of people took offense to that because if there's one thing that a lot of Americans, Canadians, and most people around the world love, is their pets.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know what? If there was ever a choice to be made between buying food for my animals and me going hungry, I will go hungry because my animals provide more love and enjoyment than a lot of people I know. And if
Well,
my dog doesn't like you, chances are I'm not going to like you either. So,
well, I mean, your pets are totally dependent on you.
exactly.
To think that somebody could shoot a dog for it was it was like
It
a
was
pup.
14 months old. It was still a puppy
Um,
because it ruined a hunt. It was chasing birds everywhere. Well, that's what puppies do. That's like throwing a ball in front of a dog and saying, don't move. You know?
yeah. Well, I found that so disgusting.
Yeah.
I to this day I still haven't read any much of the articles about it because I don't have time for that. That's animal cruelty in
Yes.
in the state of Washington. If you did something like that and then openly acted like, "Hey, look what I did," you're be in big trouble.
Yes.
Um, it's just no, no. There's something wrong with the person that does it, and it's even worse when they publicly tell everybody, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
shot the dog. Look at
Yeah.
me."
Yeah.
And she
And
wants,
then not only did I shoot the dog, but I shot the goat because it was smelly and it was a goat, like
wow, wow. It just
that is just an awful, awful, awful human being. Um, and I think that, everybody ends up living the life that they have designed for themselves. And I don't know that anyone would want to trade places with her at
no.
this point because it's just, yeah, it's just awful, awful, awful to do that. So anyway, yeah, that's it for her. And yeah, I hope that we're not.
I got to tell you, I'm not too concerned about who Trump picks for VP. But that one guy, what's his name? Tim Scott, I think.
Oh God, yeah,
This guy is what a fool. He comes out there. He did what was it? Meet the Press. He did a Meet the Press, and he just sat there and spewed out the same erroneous information that Trump does.
yep,
And she, I can't remember the moderator, the host, the one that hosts the show. This woman,
no,
she's very good. But anyway, she just called him on each and every one, and he just talked over her, never explained it. And and she was like, "Well, no, it didn't go that way, and that's not right." And he just kept going on and on and on. And then when she asked him about, don't you want to be VP? Oh, well, we didn't. We had a meeting. We never talked about that. Oh, BS. That's the only reason he went
the
to the
furthest thing from my mind. Come on,
VP. He's not going to be VP. He's not.
no,
I
no,
can't, I mean, for one thing, Trump is such a complete racist. You think he's going to have a black vice president? I don't think so.
think
Unless,
again.
unless he thought that if bringing that guy in brought in more of the black vote, and if he saw that that was a problem, that he wasn't getting the black vote, then he might do it. He might do it. But trust me, he doesn't. He doesn't have
No,
any faith in. And again, it would be somebody that he could just easily manipulate and he is a Trump spokesperson. He's already feeding us the same
yeah,
lies that Trump does.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Absolutely. And I think she did ask him about, well, okay, so if Trump loses again in November, are you going to accept the results? Well, he wouldn't answer the question. And she
right,
asked him like six different times. Well,
yes,
I've made my statement. You haven't said anything. You're just, yeah. And
because he's not going to accept it. And
No.
I think that, well, after that election, and especially if Biden wins, which he's going to, there is going to be some craziness around the country about this whole thing, and and hopefully we can get to a point where people understand, no, this is not, this never was, the election never was stolen. They don't accept the facts, and you have to get to a point where the facts are finally accepted, because that is what happened. Biden got more votes all the way around. That's why he won. We should be so thankful that he won and he's doing what he's doing, because if it was with Trump, we would instantly be a third world country. And he is continually saying that Biden is the worst president we've ever had. I can guarantee you absolutely not, that Trump is without a doubt the worst president we've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody has lied so much. Nobody has led us astray. Nobody, every single promise that he made as a president,
Yes.
I don't think he fulfilled one, did he? I mean, maybe there was some accidental thing that did go his way, but
Yeah.
no,
No.
he's not a good person. He's not a good role model, and he only wants to be president because he loves the power, and also that he can use this information. Don't think that he's not handing over some of those documents, or at least
Absolutely. Yeah. To enrich himself.
to,
Yeah.
to enrich himself with other countries,
Yes.
telling our secrets to other countries. It's just horrible what is going on that way. And
Yeah, exactly. He couldn't care less. All the people who think that, oh, Mr. Trump speaks for me. No, he doesn't. He couldn't care less about you. You're less than that piece of dirt stuck at the bottom of your shoe to him. He couldn't care less.
no, he doesn't speak for you.
No. He's not going to do anything for you. So yeah, just a reminder, even for anybody out there, if you're ever wondering what the world with Trump in charge would look like, do yourself a favor and go and put into the Google machine Project 2025 and then read it. Get out there and vote. Take people with you to vote. Encourage everyone you know to vote. Vote blue up and down the ticket. It doesn't matter, from dog catcher to whatever, vote blue. And more than anything, make sure that you go out there, take friends with you. Make it one of those like commercial, I told 2 friends and they told 2 friends. Yeah, make it one of those, right?
And when you talk about voting blue, I'm not saying that the Democrats never make a mistake.
No.
I'm not saying that, that there's, that they're always right on, but they are more, they're getting a lot more stuff done than the Republicans. The Republicans have followed Trump even when he's not president. I mean, even right now, they're totally afraid of him. So you cannot have a government where the people are manipulated by the president or anybody else. And in this case, it's anybody else. It's citizens.
Anybody else. Yeah.
It's the disgraced former president that they're listening to. And, just like this most recent thing with Mike Johnson and the bills that went through and the money that finally came through. It should have been happening months ago to help Ukraine and help other areas. And that's finally happened. And that they did decide we're not going to kick him out. I don't know that that's going to last forever, but what they're trying to do is bring some semblance of normality to the House. I mean, it's just been crazy time and nothing gets accomplished. And I'm so glad that that Mike Johnson finally did the right thing. I don't think he's probably all that qualified to be speaker.
No.
How many times can they take somebody out, put somebody new in, take somebody out, it just is ridiculous. It wastes so much time. Just stick with what you've got. We've only got a few more months to go before what's his name? Jeffries will be the speaker. And
Yeah.
I know there's people that are predicting that will happen before the election. Either way, I'm good with it. But we're just you've got the Republicans have to settle down and get something done, regardless about the election. And this thing about holding out on money for Ukraine is one of the more dangerous things they've ever done. I don't think they have really taken into account of what they're dealing with Putin.
No.
I mean, Putin is he's a crazy man, and he will, he keeps hinting and threatening nuclear war. Well, no, and he's also acting like, well, if I don't get my way in Ukraine, I'm going to blow the whole earth up with nuclear weapons.
Yeah, good. Then you know what? You're going to blow yourself up as well, because one of the things that I do know, and I don't know a lot about nuclear bombs, but they're not very discriminatory in that, when they wipe something out, they wipe all of it out. They don't go by and go, oh, wait a minute, Putin, come on, let's all go around glad, leave him alone. No, it takes everybody out. So then, you get to be the leader of what? A destroyed earth? Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Hopefully Putin is remembering what happened in Chernobyl. And that, that to have that across the world, he'd also, you threatened to blow up that nuclear power plant. The largest nuclear power plant in all of Europe is right there in the Ukraine. And that was a scare. That really bothered me. I thought, if he does that, that's a big problem. If he starts throwing bombs, that's even a bigger problem. And I got a feeling he's going to start, he's going to start shooting things out of the sky. Our satellite, if he could eliminate like even half of the satellites that are up there, that would really screw us up. That would affect our internet and everything. So, I could see him trying to pull something like that off as well, just to cause more trouble. But in the meantime, this constant threat of nuclear war, and that if I don't get my way, this is what's going to happen.
You know what? It's like the bully in the playground. You can only say that so many times before somebody is going to be brave enough and walk up to you and go, yeah, what you going to do? Come on, right here. You, me. That's all that he has left, is to be able to threaten, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and whatnot. His own people are going to take him out before he has a chance to do anything, because his own people realize that, he's not right in the head either. There's something wrong with him.
I'm really surprised that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
I really think, although we haven't heard about it, I do believe on a psychic level that he is definitely that people have tried to assassinate him. And I do think, I know for a fact that he is just paranoid about the whole thing. But
yes.
Yeah, I mean, all of these wars that are going on right now, the Mideast thing, God, that's constant turmoil down there. But this thing with Ukraine and Russia, it's an outmoded way of doing things. It's not, the people of these countries don't want war. They don't want to lose all their friends and family in a war. They don't like any of this. But it's only these few people at the top that want to do this. And Putin is so far, he's just not up to date. And he is totally pissed off about that. People in Russia can actually find out what people in other countries think about the war. And he doesn't want them to know that, but he really can't control it. And I think it was Elon Musk that put up a lot of satellites so that the people could get that kind of information. But Yeah, this thing with the war in Ukraine and the things with the it's just everything is so out of balance.
Yeah.
And by 2025 is where you're going to see so much change, not just in our country, but around the world, because it's the
Yeah.
transition we're going through. You know, and I've said this before, you have to take 2 steps back before you can take 1 step forward, and that's what's been happening. It's a real cluster mess
Yep.
that's been going on, and it will continue as throughout
Yep.
this year and probably into 2025. But we have to go through it to get to a better place, and I really think that that is what is happening. But it is so crazy
Absolutely.
in the meantime. It's hard to keep up. It's a roller coaster, and it's just like it makes you think you don't know what to think anymore. So
Exactly.
just
Yeah.
keep in
And it,
mind
yeah,
you want
and it's true. You know what? We all realize that in different ways and in different circumstances, change needs to happen. And it's one thing to say, yeah, we got to change this. That's good. We all know that. What needs to change and how are you going to change it? It's not just enough to say, this isn't working, change it. Change it to what? And what we're going through now, I think, is helping us identify the what and the how, right? Get rid of the electoral college. That
oh,
is like a noose around your neck. That
yes,
is not the way to do things. If the idea is that one person, one vote, that you go with that. And at the end of the day, we count up the votes, and the guy or gal with the highest number of votes is the leader, not the guy with the least amount of votes because his friends got together and said, no, we like him better. No, get rid of the electoral college. Now you can see what the consequences are of having it. Now have a better sense of where to put the guardrails in place to make sure that another President Trump could never happen again. You know, things in terms of, your financial statements and whatnot. You can't provide the financial statement. You don't have it. You don't get to run. Good luck. You can always try again in 4 years. Hopefully your audit will be finished by then, right? Same thing with Supreme Court. Limit the number of years that you serve on the Supreme Court. If you have, during the vetting process, if you have lied in any way, shape, or form, that to me is like lying on your resume. You're gone.
right.
You're gone. I hired you based on these criteria, and you don't have that criteria. So you're no good to me. Go, boom. And not a matter of Republican judge or Democratic judge or whatnot. I think a lot of them should be um, they they should almost be voted in place. Like they need to prove their worth. How have you voted in the past? What's your stance on these things? Are you, where do you fall in line with the rules? So what these last 8 years have done is show what's broken, what needs to be fixed, how to fix it, and then take the steps to do it. But while we're going through it, man, it's a hell of a ride.
Isn't it though? Isn't it though? You know, and what needs to be done is the right thing. That's all.
Yes.
Just the right
Yes.
thing. Just follow the rules. Just do the right thing. And that's but how to do that, that might be a little bit tougher to figure all that out. But no, this is such craziness. And the thing about the Electoral College, I mean, in my thinking, this goes back to Gore, Al Gore. I mean, he should
Yes.
have been president then. And then we watched the same exact thing happen with Hillary Clinton. And I
Yep.
mean, if we would have had Hillary Clinton instead of Trump in 2016, think of what the difference the world would be,
Yes.
or at least in our country. Well, how
Yes.
different it would be. I know that there was some people that thought she was crooked or something.
Yeah.
No, that's not
Crooked to what?
calling another person the crook. She was never ever the kind of crook Trump is.
Yes.
and she was never a liar about it. Um, and she
Yep.
had great experience. It just blew my mind that she didn't get it. But this electoral college, um, and that I've never understood why you can take a select group of states and make those states the deciding factor
Yeah.
on the election. That's crazy.
Yeah, if that's the case, if the electoral college is going to decide who gets to be president, why bother voting?
Well, yeah, and why
Why do
bother
you why
having
do
it
you need to
across
have
the
a
country?
vote?
Yeah. And
So
like Hillary Clinton, she won. She won the
mhm,
presidency, but she didn't get to be president.
no,
Uh, yeah,
yeah,
it's all craziness. But
totally.
it will get worked out. I see a future that looks so bright, so good, but it's going to take more time, and it's going to take more uh, just these ups and downs, getting through certain things.
Yeah,
Let's just hope and pray that we don't have another thing come up that's like the
yeah,
pandemic. The pandemic was, oh God, that was a killer. And it just about made me crazy when I thought we are in the worst thing I've ever heard of. And we've got Trump leading the country and lying to us and telling us strange things about how to combat it and withholding
like
medical
raking the forest. Yeah, go rake the forest and inject bleach into your system.
right
There
before.
you go. Gee, you're the
I might as
smartest one in
well.
your family.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
yeah, anyway. Well, alrighty. Listen, we've been an hour and 16 minutes, and this has been fun, fun, fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can both tell Colleen she missed a good discussion.
Well, I think she knows that.
Yeah, I, I think so too. And you know what? I mean, she had a chance, like she said, to spend time with her daughter. So I get it. I get it. Daughter's more important than we are. That's all right.
Well, yeah, that's probably true. It's probably true.
Uh, well, Cleo, thank you so much. This was absolutely lovely. And I'm going to look forward to the next one, which is on the 23rd of the month. And I'll make sure that I get the notices and the links and everything out to you guys well before the 23rd. And
Okay.
for those of you that are still here with us, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you enjoyed our discussion. Thank you for chatting back and forth with each other and keeping each other in the loop and sharing ideas. That's always it's wonderful for me to read your comments to each other, and I know you're very very supportive of each
Yeah.
other, and that's wonderful. That's the world that we all want to live in, and you guys are part of it. So yeah, I appreciate that very much.
Well, they're so knowledgeable over here in the
Yes,
chat section, and it's enlightening because I don't always feel
absolutely.
that. So thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Y'all take care. And yeah, we'll see you later.
Bye
Bye.
bye.